Holbrook New Media.
This is Jeffrey K. Holbrook. Welcome to the audio feed from holbrooknewmedia.com. Today, Geoff and Jeffrey, the weekly catch-up. We hope you enjoy the audio version. If you want to see what we look like, I will embed the video for this episode at holbrooknewmedia.com.
Hello, everyone. I'm Geoff Blanchard.
And I'm Jeffrey K. Holbrook, and this is the weekly catch-up.
Good morning, Mr. Holbrook.
Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Good, thank you. It's evening for me, morning for you, but
Yes, it
at
is.
least it's still the same day, so it's not that confusing.
That is true. That is true. I know for you and Rick, you're on two completely different days.
Well, that's right. I had, because I'm on vacation at the moment, I had a chat with Rick on Monday at lunchtime, 1 o'clock Monday, which was still his Sunday evening, which seems always it still seems very strange to me. But I can handle yours, which it still is the same day. It's just early in the morning and late at night for me. So it sounds like a motorbike's in the back, coming around the back somewhere here. I don't know if you can hear it.
I think it's a little more organic than that.
Oh, no, it's not William. It's not William doing the.
Well, it sounds like I heard him back there snoring again. It's like, okay. Okay.
Sounds like I've heard a buffalo snoring. Yes, that might be him. But
buffalo.
Can't get blamed for snoring, but not that much tonight anyway. So.
I've kind of experienced something new on my phone that I've never run into before, where I'm online and have data and everything all set up. I'm getting all of a sudden something will just pop up and want me to buy something in the Play Store. Pop up ads on my phone. I've never had that before, and I just now got a full blown commercial. I mean, a commercial for like skip ad like you see on YouTube, like a commercial before you do it was a commercial. I mean, just now popped up on my phone. And I'm thinking, so, I mean, I guess these things are using my data or whatever. I'm thinking, what are you doing? Of course, I'm on Wi-Fi right now, but I mean, it was a regular, and it had this little thing that said skip ad. So I skipped it. But I mean, I didn't have to buy it. It's a free program called Malwarebytes. I've used it on my regular computer before, and it gets rid of, adware and malware and stuff like that. And it did not find a thing on the phone. And right after it got done, another ad came up. I mean, it's mostly things to get me to buy things in the Google Play Store.
And that's the thing that's the only thing I have against the Android. There's so much stuff that's loaded on there that's geared at selling you things and doing all sorts of things. But I don't mind being marketed to when I've said yes or subscribed to something, or because I've done something on a web search. But just for the sake, like if you're hooked into like the App Store, just saying, trying to sell you something like that. But or if I don't be marketing it, but like they're doing these ads these days. I don't know if you've noticed, but they used to be able to play a few seconds, then click it if you want to skip it. Now they're playing 15, 20-second ads that you cannot get rid of. You've got to watch them all the way through before you see your YouTube. So,
and then, of course, you decide whether or not you want to see the content that bad or not. But but what's weird is, my old phone just didn't have enough data or anything like that going on. Even if they tried to send me anything, the phone really wouldn't have reproduced it, so it's hard to tell. But this thing here, of course, is the latest thing, and the idea that they're interrupting what I'm doing and popping something up in front of me. I mean, just like, how you get annoyed if you go to a website and they do these pop-ups? Well, that's what's happening on my phone. And it doesn't happen all the time, but if I go on a 15-minute break or something at work, I may see it twice before I...
And then that's, when your 15-minute break, you just want 15 minutes or 10 or 15 minutes to look at the data. 5 of those 15 minutes being trying to get rid of ads that you've got coming in.
Yeah, but like you say, this one I just saw was the first time I'd seen a real video commercial. But it's mostly when I'm on data, I guess, at work. It's been things for the Google Play Store, specific things, games. One of them was some type of editing, I think a picture editing program. Like you say, just all kinds of things. So I went around and checking the Google-based programs to see if it was them. Once the malware program said there's nothing wrong, there's nothing going on, then I was wondering if maybe I had given a permission somewhere, because it's all the Google Play Store until this advertisement I just now got. And so I'm trying to figure out where have I given a permission that would allow somebody to do this or something? I don't know.
And that's the sort of thing is with all this malware stuff. There's some things that they're in bed with somewhere along the way, and they say, okay, yeah, we'll get rid of all your malware except this one,
right,
because this is the one who's sponsoring us. And it's like all these ad blockers. There's always somebody out there that says, yeah, okay, you can block the ads, but there's certain things you shouldn't be blocking, or if people have done this and people have done that. It's a little bit the sneaky way of I find whenever Flash used to want to update. Mm-hmm. Every time it does, and the bottom line in about, I don't even know how small it is. I don't know how small a point font you can see, but it's that small that you can't see. You'd have to expand your screen about 400% to see it. It says, now, I've just ticked, you want the latest version of McAfee antivirus software and load Google Chrome as your default browser, and there's two little ticks in there, and you don't. And as I said, you're never going to see that. And how many people get that loaded onto their machine which say, oh, yep, I'm fine, done. And they're the sort of things that you might have had something like that. Yes, I agree to show all the ads for the Play Store. What is it called? Play Store? What's it?
The Google Play Store.
Play Store. It says, I agree to do that. So it would have something to do with something in Chrome or something like that, I think, that you'll have touched. Mm-hmm. And it says, I agree to do that in one of my updates. And it's one of these things that can sneakily get in. I don't mind them as long as they're like from Google, because I think, yeah, they might be annoying, but at least they're not damaging to your system, not like some of these strange ones. So I'm still amazed that after all this time, I don't know how many years it's been going on, but I still get somebody phoning me up saying on the telephone, hello, I'm calling from, my telephone provider that we've noticed that we've got a problem with your internet connection. You've been infected with a virus. We'll put you through to this one. And it's not the provider I use anyway.
Well, right. Then they want a credit card number in order to continue that type of thing.
It says I'm phoning from Telstra technical support. Just hang up. And these days I don't even say anything, because then what's the next scam that they have on the phone? The next thing is when they're asking you, oh, are you there? And when you say affirmative or something like that, but with the Y word, they record that, and then using your voice that says, do you agree with that? And play your recording, you saying, okay, doke.
Yeah, you've okayed a huge, you've basically signed your mortgage over to them or something like that.
That's right, but I've had my landline. What is it? I've had this phone number for at least the past 25, 30 years. And I tell you now, since mobile phone, I've not had one phone call yet to date that's been a genuine phone call. So I know since mobile phones came in, or cellular phones, if anybody wants you, if anybody who needs to get you, they'll try you on that. Mm. And if you can't be reached on that, you definitely can't be reached at the home phone. Well, nobody just switches the cell off and just does it on the home phone anyway, do they?
Well, we gave up on our home phone a few years ago because you can see our cell tower as the crow flies. You can see the tower when the leaves are off across the valley over there. So we have full tank direct line of sight, really, really good signal. And when we found out that if we got rid of the regular telephone and then got internet with the cable, that we could get broadband, which we had dial-up at the time, it's years ago, and then we could get broadband and actually save, I think, $20 a month. Now I'm on board.
but the thing is, we had the same here. I had a connection with my internet provider, and you could have. And I thought, what's this called when you call this your internet a naked connection? What's a naked connection? He said, well, that means we can have a connection to you for your internet without a home phone line. So you can get rid of your home phone line. And I said, oh, that's great. And hang on. And he said, what's the price? It's this. I said, well, hang on. If I get rid of the phone and the plan that you put me on, that's costing me more than it is now. Yes, but you haven't got the telephone on there. I said, yeah, but there's no
So I'm
advantage
losing
for
something and paying more. Okay.
losing something and paying more. So I left it at that. But then we had with the NBN here, the National Broadband Network, and it's faster, but you cannot get a package, you cannot get a deal without a home phone line.
Okay, that's
So
why
you can't get. You've got to have There's no packages available just with the internet connection. I think it's a bit like you have with your Comcast. You cannot just get internet connection without all the cable. But if you get the internet only, it costs you more than it does in the package deal with the cable.
The setup we got right now, we are with Comcast, and the setup we've got right now is we have the internet and cable together, and I think the whole cable package of everything we're getting is probably only about $10 or $15 more than just the cable. Just the internet alone. So just kind of an odd thing. Everybody's streaming their movies over the internet anyway. I never watch standard TV. Now my wife does, where she's disabled. She watches, she has certain things she watches on regular TV. The only time I ever watch it is, I used to have Tuesday nights off and we would watch NCIS. That was her favorite show, and I like it. It's a good show. And so I never, other than that, I never actually turn on the regular television. Matter of fact, what I do now, I sit down, I turn on the PS4, the PlayStation 4. I can play a video game. I can watch Netflix. I can watch Amazon Prime. I can watch YouTube. Once I got to where I could watch YouTube on regular television, I spent a lot of time watching YouTube. And because now if you don't, like if I'm just getting ready for work and I'm getting something to eat and I've got 20 minutes, and then I have to start, get a shower and start getting ready for work, you can sit down and there's plenty of 10, 15, 20-minute material on YouTube. I enjoy watching people cutting firewood or building cabins in the woods. All these little, things like that. And I got certain people that, that I like to watch, that I'm subscribed to, and, just unusual things. And it's just fun. You sit down, see what your latest update is, it's about 10-minute little video or something like that. You can get 2 or 3 of those in, get up, get ready to go to work, instead of committing to an hour-long program that you don't get to watch all of.
And it's the thing, like you were saying with the Comcast, and only slightly more to have the cable. But that's why they're all into it, because they've got the cable, but they've got the internet provider. Also, I suppose along with that, when you're watching things, they'll definitely know that it's you online.
Sure.
So they're going to push you to Comcast material, I suppose, it's online to get you to watch. But then again, once they've got you, they really don't care, do they?
No. Like you say, we're paying a flat monthly fee. So as far as Comcast material, I never, I know whenever my wife was in Florida caring for my dad, she was down there. I was down there for about a week. She was down there for a total of 6 weeks. Well, I was home by myself for 5 weeks. All I did was use the PlayStation 4. I watched the Amazon and the Netflix and the, and the YouTube, and played Skyrim and things like that. And they didn't have any trouble at all with me just using the service like that. And I never turned the cable on all during that entire 5 weeks, but they were more than happy to take our money for it. So,
they have adverts on your cable, do they?
Well, just whatever comes over a particular channel. We don't have the cable company itself sending separate ads to us. No,
but they do have whatever's on the cable that will have ads.
Well, a particular channel, for instance, if you're watching, CBS, whatever ads they have come across, if you're watching, I don't know, the home, whatever, some kind of home improvement network or food network or something like that, you get whatever that channel is sending, because you're paying cash money to get these feeds. So the cable company itself doesn't put additional ads on it that they generate. You're paying them. But whatever channel you're getting, whatever ads are coming over that, you'll get, because that's just already on the channel.
I'll tell you, you just have to forgive me because I've never had cable. So
okay, yeah, but I mean, but cable itself,
cable.
the way things go online too. If you're paying directly for something, then you don't get ads. If you're getting it for free, then they use ads to pay for the thing. And so there's even a couple of free video, movie streaming things. And there was this one, it said you can get free, these free movies. And I seem to have some pretty nice movies on there. And so I just went ahead and signed up. And what would happen is every so often at a specific period of time, no matter what the flow of the movie was, it would just cut off. And get this advertisement for something bright and sunny whenever the main character was about to be killed. And what would happen is, it would be going, oh, this is how I'm going to kill you. Hey, how would you like to have some, gardening mix for your thing? Isn't that great? It's springtime. Everything's great. And it comes back and how would you, and then they repeat that line again. How would you like to be killed, this way? I mean, there was completely disregarded the flow of the movie or anything. I just couldn't take it. I was thinking, okay, I don't mind an advertisement so I can watch something free, but work it in. That's why they have commercial breaks on shows, is because the flow of the drama or whatever, that's a point. It's a cliffhanger sometimes, but it's not, and it stops and then there's a commercial. I mean, it's actually a nice clean break so you can watch the commercial.
And that's what I just dislike with the say the free to air stuff. I don't mind it so much in England, because in England they tend to have a bit more strict things. If it's a half an hour program, once you start the program, you can't have any adverts until the 15-minute break. Okay. And then you have a break and you have your adverts. Then you have your next 15-minute break. Okay. And
then they make the shows kind of flow through to that, and so you're ready at 15 minutes for that. Yeah.
Whereas here we tend to have, the big opening scene or the big opening tune for the show, and then it goes to adverts. Then it comes back and and then the last thing it goes to an advert, then comes back to finish. Oh well, that was fine then, and the end of the show. I think somebody's designed to kill the program by murdering it with adverts. There was a big thing here with the Simpsons, and people figured out that, hey, hang on, a half an hour show in the Simpsons should go for 20 minutes of actual showing time. When you take the adverts out of there, there's only 15 minutes left.
Right.
So we were missing out on 5 minutes of the show, and they kept showing us. Said, well, this is what the American audience saw. They cut this part and this part out. But sometimes they cut out some of the relevant things that makes the story, not some little thing, but somebody thinks, oh, this isn't worth it. Let's cut that out. So.
Well, yeah, whenever they start censoring movies and stuff like that, and cutting, editing it for time allotted or something like that, it says on the thing. Sometimes it just doesn't make any sense at all. There have been movies I'd seen before, and I knew what they were about, and then all of a sudden they cut out sections that actually involve the story. I mean, the real story. It's like, okay, the point, and I know everything is commercially driven. I mean, everything's about showing you, getting an ad in front of your face. And like you say, that's what I'm having trouble with the phone right now. But I'm doing something, and I was like doing a text message to my wife, and all of a sudden one pops up on it. It doesn't care what I'm doing. Now it doesn't do it if the phone, right now it's on, its little screen where you're,
Oh yes, yeah.
But it doesn't do it then. But it just picks random times. I haven't been able to tell how long it takes or when it does it in between. But just now, probably because I was on Wi-Fi, it went ahead and giving me a full video commercial, just like you would see at the beginning of a YouTube video. And why?
But the funny It's like when we had here with the TV channels and that, and what they tended to do as well, like you're saying, manipulating it, editing the program for their benefit.
Mhm.
But then people started complaining that what they were doing was, say, for an 8:30 movie on one of the main channels,
Mhm.
like all the TV channels would have a movie at 8:30.
Yes.
One channel would say, okay, what we want to do, we've got a top rating show before that film comes on. Let's make it go 5 minutes over.
Mm.
And so they were doing the making that go 5 minutes over, so you'd miss the start on all the other channels.
Right.
And then do it on that, and it's but it's something. It's a live show. We can't. We don't know. We can't make it do that. But when they want to do it, they can certainly make it. They can cut it short, can't they?
Oh, sure.
But
Of
I
course.
said,
Of course.
we're not doing that. But it seemed that every channel seemed to do it. So the 8:30 movie,
Mhm.
you could almost guarantee. This was back in the old days of video recording, where you could never get it at 8:30 because we might say at 8:30, 8:40, 8:45, and then the other channels got onto that too. So there would never one might start at 8:35, one 8:38 because it was all. So we can't all start at 8:30 because we've got to tie them in. We'd always have the top rating show beforehand, thinking that's more popular than the actual film is. But I think that's gone by the wayside now, is because people just, like you said, they don't care. We can get it on Netflix, or there's always some other way, or if it's not on Netflix, wait a few months and it probably will be there eventually anyway. So,
Mhm.
but and that thing we were saying with like YouTube now, they've got another one where you can pay to not have the ads.
Oh, YouTube Red.
But the only thing is, I don't mind with YouTube because they're never that intrusive. They're not stopping you from doing something else like the ones on your phone are. Like when you go to YouTube, you're not typing a text message and having something pop up. So it's not going to interrupt you. But quite often I find I like some of the adverts, like say, oh, I didn't realize that movie was out, or oh, I didn't realize. And a lot of the times, even if you can't get rid of it, it's 15 seconds or 5 seconds until you can get rid of it. But I thought, well, I'm not going to pay extra to not get the adverts, because I thought sometimes you do want to have a little bit of that information. But as I said, it's not like where you were doing, and I've had those ones before as well. You're typing away and then you look up and another screen's popped up and you're typing away in something in another field, and it stops you from doing that. So they're the ones that are quite annoying, but I haven't had them, fortunately. Well, then again, I dumped the Android one and went back to iOS. So
the reason why nothing like that happens on Apple is because the only thing anybody from Apple ever wants you to buy are Apple products. Nothing else. And so you don't have to worry about them allowing ads.
No, but I thought, but that should be for the Apple, the iTunes store, is it? That's the ones that should be doing it for that. But I figure they probably figure, they'll go there anyway, so they're making enough money on it. But it's just quite strange, because in Google, there are other places yes, you can get other things for Android other than Google, can't you?
Because there's things that, but all the things, until I just got that actual video commercial, the only things I'd run into were things for the Google Play Store. I mean, it's like buy this, buy that, pop it up. There'll be a little thing showing a game, a blow 'em up type of a game, I guess you can get on your phone, and then then I would just take the the back key or something like that, because if you hit the the exit key, it takes you completely back to your main screen out of whatever it was you were doing when this thing popped up. So the back key is what you have to hit. Now this full commercial thing actually gave me a skip ad button on it.
Oh, okay.
Just like YouTube.
Yeah, but it stopped you from doing what you were doing, whereas I suppose YouTube doesn't, because you are watching that screen anyway. So very rarely typing on there waiting for it to do anything. I did notice. I do apologize. I did notice you sent a tweet that you were watching the week Tech Down Over live.
Yeah. I was watching it live, but I wasn't sure if you guys actually mess with the chat room or anything at all. But I went ahead and sat down here because I have watched you part of the show. I'll say, oh, they're on, and so I just watch you on the television. Of course, there's no chat available at that point.
Right.
But I thought I would come upstairs and just see if anybody watched the chat, and and I know it's not like something that's going on all the time, so I didn't know if you guys actually looked at it. I figured the chat would be over on Rick's end, I guess, and I know he's got all that stuff. He may not even be able to see it.
He won't be able to see that there, but as I said, I can still log in and have a look and get the chat, but I don't bother because every time I've tried and do that, I've never seen anybody in there to do the chat anyway, so I don't bother.
Well, I have this handy dandy second screen here, and there's nothing going on over there, so I have the chat setting on it. There's been a couple of times when somebody popped in and said something and got out before I noticed them, because I'm generally looking at the camera or whatever like this.
So if you would say, hang on, Geoff, we've just got to answer some questions in the chat room. Oh my God, I'll fall off the chair.
Well, what I'll do one of these days is just come up with some preset questions or something like that. And this is from the chat room, we make up some funny names. Nah, we're always very honest about the millions of people who don't watch us. So.
That's right. Yes.
But another thing on my phone, I've been one of the things I wanted to try to do was to take the phone and do videos with it, like I was telling you about. Well, I got a clamp on or a suction cup type of a holder for the phone, and it fits right on the dashboard of the car. And so I've got the thing sitting there, and I'm actually driving down the road talking to it and doing stuff, and I put some videos like that on the YouTube channel, geoffholbrook.me. And anyway,
So I was looking for that. Is it Geoff Holbrook? Just Geoff? I'm putting Geoff K. Holbrook.
Geoff Holbrook. Yeah, it's just geoffholbrook.me. Is what
I was looking for it, but I kept putting Jeffrey K. Holbrook, and I thought, I can't find this one, .me, but I thought it must be Geoff Holbrook.
Yeah, just
me.
geoffholbrook.me, and it says Geoff Holbrook on the channel. So, it's just a personal channel. It's not a big professional thing or anything. So, but what I found with the phone, I have it in that holder, and it's on there, and it's pointing toward me, or of course I can actually film the road too while I'm at it, just in the position it was in. The only problem is, whenever at first I just did it with the phone itself and the audio on the phone, and then I had this external little microphone you could just plug in, and it was actually just sitting there and attached to it. Of course, I got even more road noise with that, which was fine. But then again, it's just an impromptu type of thing anyway. It's nothing really drastic that I'm trying to do. Then I took a lavalier mic and plugged it in and put it right up over top of the
sun visor.
Yeah, the sun visor, and had it, right here where you couldn't really see it. But I got really loud audio with that. I mean, it was almost peaking pretty badly, but it sounded much cleaner.
And
that was nice. But I'm having trouble with the phone itself. Whenever I did the lavalier mic, all of a sudden I would hit a bump on the road, which in West Virginia, the ground is heaving, and you never know. There's always, and I mean just little bumps like boom, boom, boom. The audio would drop out every so often, and drop out and come back in. And I would be in the middle of a word, and you'd see me do it in that word. And all along, no matter what I was doing for audio, occasionally the video would drop out when I'd hit a bump.
Oh,
I I would have there would be a place on the screen where it didn't come back. Come back, and it's in the video. And so I'm kind of coming to the conclusion that it may not be the best thing in the world for this phone to be having it bouncing on the dashboard, because it's got I should have the thing here. It's got a suction cup on it and a little gooseneck that you can bend however you want to, and then one of those clamp type things you put the phone in, and it's fine. I mean, it's okay, but hitting bumps makes the audio kind of jiggle, and the video itself sometimes will get some kind of a little cut out of it, and then back in again. I'm afraid it might do something to damage the phone if I keep doing that.
I couldn't see it, because a lot of these phone holders do exactly what you're doing, but just not filming it. A lot of them just have that clamp on the suction cup, and they're sat there for just normal phone calls, and and all that. I know with the microphones, quite often people do get that drop out on the sound because they leave the auto limiting switch on.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does is, if it feels a loud bump, it registers that as a loud noise and cuts down the volume to nothing. And by the
Okay,
time
so that may be the technical reason why that's happening, but it didn't, the audio didn't really do that until I plugged in the lavalier mic, and the volume was so loud, it was picking up so well, and it was so loud that's when I started having the drops in the audio.
Well, but maybe if you've got a switch on your phone that says just manual level control.
On the video I was doing, I don't think so. I downloaded another program called Open Camera that I saw suggested on one of the YouTube channels.
Okay.
And then you can do some manual settings on the camera and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden I was videoing, and I think about 4 or 5 minutes or something into something I was doing, all of a sudden it stopped the video and brought up something on the screen. Hey, how would you like to buy this program? I'm like, okay, no, yeah. Guess not. I don't like pop-ups are just about enough to get me not to buy whatever it was you had. I hate pop-ups in any case. Whatever I'm doing, if you interrupt what I'm doing, that maybe I'm just the mean person, but that really aggravates me if you're going to interrupt me. So, I'm in the middle of my thing here, Now you can ask me before I close the program, or you can, but stopping me from the middle of what I was doing, I find that, maybe very annoying.
But I've got a few, because there was one, but it's just audio called iTalk, which was a good one for connecting a lavalier mic to your phone. But as I said, that doesn't do the video, but because that has the manual controls, because the same thing with any DSLR, there's always say switch the auto limiting sound off on it, because it overpowers it. It switches it off, but also what it does as well, if you have it on the auto, the very, very quiet bits, it turns it up to really loud. So because it can't hear anything. Whereas if you have a set level, it's constant volume, because it said, I can't hear anything, so I'll switch up my sensitivity.
Oops.
What were you showing me there? So. Hang on, so that one, it's just gone off there. Now it's recording. Come on to the recording.
Well, no, that's I can record, but register now. And the first few minutes of few minutes of this one, there'll be 3 things pop up. Then you can use it however long you want to. But it's called iRig Recorder, and it is. There you go. There's the second one, and there should be one more. But anyway, you can see the meter going back and forth as I'm talking. There's the third one, and that should be it. But I mean, I've recorded with this, and I can use, if I wanted to do an interview, or there's another one. If I wanted to use do an interview or something, just an audio interview with somebody.
Oh, that's good.
As loud as that lavalier is, I could plug it into the phone and just hold it between us, and both of us could talk on it, I think, and I could monitor the level on that little thing down there, and it would be fine, so I mean, now I've got the capability of doing an interview at any time I want to. And this was a free program. The external mic that you plug in, the iRig mic cast, I think it's called. This is a program that kind of was involved in that, and you could download it for free. And I like it. But the lavalier, I could probably just hold it between us, and we could both talk, and I could monitor the levels that way. And I think I could just do a full interview just holding the lavalier between us. Just have to make sure I don't go,
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is really good, but if you do hold them, they're very hard to keep it quiet, because it picks up everything, just you holding it, and makes a lot of them. That's why they're designed to be clipped onto somewhere.
Right. I wonder if you could clip it on, I always have a pen such as this with me all the time. I wonder if you could clip it onto the end of the pen and hold it.
Well, you could do. That's the place you clip.
You don't have to move it. I think it would work just holding it between us. I think you could get some good volume. Huh?
That's exactly right. As long as it's not a human hand holding it.
Yeah.
Because we tend to make a lot of noise. But if you had something that you could clip it onto a pen or something, I'm sure that, and even then you could point it towards a person, bring it back. You could do it as a normal microphone, and rather than having, because even though you can do things, you look a bit of a nerd with a full-blown microphone with like the CBS logo or what, like
the mic flag.
Hello.
Yeah,
back like instead while you've just got the phone connected to the phone.
Oh, I totally want one of those. Rode makes a real nice, I think it's called the Rode Reporter, and the barrel on the microphone is actually a lot longer. Like this one here is only about this long. Well, you can get them to where the barrel's that long, and that way you're not putting your hand in their face. You can just kind of tilt it back and forth. And it's made specifically for the range of human voice and to cut down on the background noise. And it's just like what's right in front of it. So I really want one of those. I'll probably get one if I start doing some interviewing after I retire, probably.
Well, ask Rick, because he went to Chicago to the Lectora users conference, and he was using that, and it's really good. They just got to watch it. You don't get too close, but it was really good because he was talking and putting it into the other person's face, and you couldn't hear it because there would be a lot of noise and chatter around the back, but it really did a good job on that. And he was, on it through streaming through a laptop and that. So
they're made specifically for that situation to only record what's directly in front and also to cut down on that extra noise around. And they make it to where they don't feel as invaded because you're farther away from them with the longer barrel on the thing,
And the thing is, even when you do an interview, the lavaliers are great, but you've still got to get close and get them to put one on. And to me, sometimes that still is a very personal thing that you hate asking people to do, because at least if they just do that, they don't mind talking. Oh, but do I have to put something on? Do I have to do that? Whereas just pointing that to them, and as I said, it does such a good sound, and then at least it indicates you want them. And what do you think about that? Yes. What do you want? They said, I want you to say something now.
Well, yeah, you can control the flow of it, and then when it comes with the lavaliers, any proper gentleman doesn't look at a lady and say, "Hi, I want to put this on your blouse." You just don't do that. That's just not what gentlemen do.
And a lot of people who do, they won't do it properly, so just stick it on, and you've got cables hanging down. Much neater to have, just because most times people know there's a microphone, so you don't have to have it hidden.
Right.
So it doesn't matter that people see it, because I think there's only probably 2 people in the world that think sound doesn't come through a microphone. so they all know it's using. So it's only the TV shows where if you're acting, you know it's coming through for a microphone, but you want to believe that there's not a microphone there because it's make-believe.
One of these spontaneous shots I got at a wedding one time when I was kind of a second photographer telling the story at my youngest brother's wedding. Well, his wife's nephew, little boy, come walking by, and all of a sudden there's this microphone, and it's only about at a half level. It's down. It's not even up tall enough like that, and he couldn't have been above 6. He just walks by, sees the mic, and grabs it and does the Sinatra thing. and I'm like, I saw it coming. I saw the look on his face, and I saw it coming. Wham, wham. I got 2 really good shots, and his mother looked at me and said, "Thank you." I mean, because he just, you expect him to go,
And it's amazing what kids pick up. You think, where would he have seen that? Such a young kid, but they've seen that on the TV, and they pick the weirdest things up, don't they? But like you said, you could see that coming. You said, "Oh, it's a mic. I don't know what he's going to do with it, but I know he's going to grab it and do something with it."
So I was ready. By the time he got there, I was already looking through the viewfinder, and it was a film. It was on film, I think, if I remember right. It was a film shot, so it's like, bang! I was ready for him. So his mother looked at me and said, "Thank you." It's because it was a good shot.
So what gems were you doing on your JeffHolbrook.me?
Well, like you say, what I was doing was what I was calling. I think I have about 3 of them on there. I was calling it drive-by philosophy. And what I was doing was taking a celebrity quote or something like that. Like my original show, Daggers of the Mind, was celebrity quote based, and then I was actually scripting a show. Well, what I was doing with this was just in the car on the way to work or wherever I was going, and then I would have a specific quote that I wanted to talk about, and I would have I'm driving, Okay, and this thing is the camera's in my face, so I'm driving, and ever I say what the quote is, and then I say what I'm thinking about it and what it could mean to us or whatever like that. And then 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. I think one of them is almost 6 minutes, but and that's what I was doing. But where I'm having trouble with the phone itself, I'm kind of worried about it bouncing around like that. Plus, that suction cup thing has come off a couple times, and the phone kind of tumbled down into all of a sudden it hits my lap. It looks great on the video. I was like, oh, it hits my lap and then bounces down into the floor, and it's kind of laying down there, and you're looking at my shoe pushing the gas, because you can't just reach down while you're doing it, while you're driving. So, it does have kind of a surprise whenever that happens. And so, it hasn't worked out so well, but my wife's just about got me talked into starting back up the Daggers of the Mind podcast, and then doing it the same way, because one of the things I have told you before that you've really done for me, you've loosened me up quite a bit, because when I first started podcasting, everything was scripted and performed and like that. And so you've really got me to where I am not afraid to just spontaneously talk about things. And again, that was so foreign to my nature whenever I started 2.5 years ago. So as easy as it was to talk about these quotes and the things I wanted to say in the car, says the live stream is offline just now.
Oh.
So as easy it is to talk about that, it really surprised me how easy it was. Oh, looks like we're coming back on. Yeah.
Oh.
We're coming back on.
Maybe I've hit the button where it is with me hand and just clicked it off. So hopefully it didn't go off, because it still says 47 minutes I've been streaming.
Yeah. I think there was just it said started streaming 40 minutes ago, 41 minutes ago. Yeah, I think we're good.
I knew because I had the thing over the stream, the button, and I must have hit my trackpad, and the thing was still over there, and I've just hit it and thought, I didn't realise it. Done.
Okay, that's it. I'm not going to do this show anymore.
He said, I just can't do that. Let's go back to scripting. And
let's go back to scripting again. But anyway, what I was just actually setting it up in there, setting up a camera and stuff around my microphone and a video monitor in there. That's what I was doing right before we started doing the show. And I'm giving some serious thought to maybe basically videoing myself recording the actual audio podcast with the condenser in the booth. And then just release the audio version of it with me free talking about, a particular quote. And again, it'll be really short, but it'll be start with episode 51, of Daggers of the Mind. But then release the video as, because I've got the camera right now, it's set up just right off to one side of the microphone's here, and the camera, you can see my face full, but you can still see a little bit of the microphone. And so I'm actually talking into the camera too, and just say, of course I could use the real audio track, but the point would be start off before I start the show and say, hey, you're going to get an inside view of episode 51, recording episode 51 of Daggers of the Mind. Here we go. And then look into the mic and go ahead and do the thing, and we'll just let it film me. Put that on the jeffholbrook.me YouTube channel, and so give you some audio and some video content. And that's just kind of what I thought about. And I was just trying to get some type of a setup in the booth back there where it would work. And I do have a older style video monitor where I can actually see how it's lined up and everything. And so, I could just do the one thing and it would give me 2 different types of content.
What you've got to next do though, Geoff, now is with your phone, if it doesn't blow up with you rattling on the dashboard, you should do some live streams on your phone. Your data, if it's not going to be that long, because you can do a YouTube live stream or a Facebook account. So just do one of them. Then there's no production thing it's just
because it's just entirely too late because it's already out there.
Say, hi, I'm just someone. I just got a comment to say, but they're the sort of things I like watching, as well as when people just on the way to work, and sometimes you get, I'm off now, I'm going to do this, and quite often you see people in the stream that live and I quite often like that, or they see something funny. Hey, look at this! But I'm just going into town and seeing this, and you just put a live stream because. Say 2 years ago, that was unheard of. You couldn't get a YouTube live stream, but nearly everybody can now, can't you? As long as you've got the right device.
Yeah, they're doing it on YouTube and Facebook. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people doing live streaming stuff on Facebook. Some of my family members have too. But I mean, some people are the same way you would do a live stream video show on, on YouTube or something like we do, and like, you guys do on Tech Down Over. I have a girl that, I used to date this girl in high school, and she gets on there and talks and plays Christian music, and actually does a little thing there. And buddy, she'll have 50 people watching her on Facebook on a regular basis, and she'll do this every day or so. You don't know exactly when it's going to happen. It's not at a scheduled time. It's just that people see her doing it, and then of course you can watch it afterwards too. But she just sets up I believe it's her phone on the piano, and plays the piano and sings. And again, it's the older style convention Christian music, and she's getting quite the following on there. I mean, and like you say, it's just a spontaneous thing, and people are following her. And
the trick with Facebook is like on YouTube, you have to have subscribers, but you don't on Facebook. You just have to have friends. So they are automatically subscribers.
Sure.
Now, so as soon as you get online, you've done a live chat. So people will be notified that there's a live one coming on, and so they can tune into you. So you've got a bigger audience to start off with. And then if you get some other people, then it's friends of a friends of a friends, then they get to know about it. And it's just a bigger market. And I think even like on this one, the way I do, I can connect this up to Facebook Live as well. So you can stream to 2 or 3 different sources. It's just you've got to have the GPU power to generate enough things, which I just don't think this machine will have. It's tough enough just doing this and Skype at the same time. If I did that, I think would be just a lot of still shots coming through.
Everything is working so well right now. You really hate to change anything. I mean, I'm getting, I'm doing the audio recording on this end of your audio and mine too on separate channels, and there's changes that could be made. I could get a better microphone. I could, get a mixer and a, compressor and things, kind of a setup like you have over there. But I mean, I hate to change anything. Everything is working because,
you're so nice.
I mean, if I didn't do, if I change anything, I've got to buy a lot more equipment to do the same thing I'm doing right now. And so I kind of hate to change anything. Just kind of let it roll.
Also the worry is, well, you spend a lot of money to get better equipment, and then you sit back and listen to think, hang on, it was better before I paid or spent. So if you're happy with it now, just stick with it and don't mess with it, because that's the thing I'm always afraid of. If it's like this camera I'm using now, it's an old Panasonic HD video camera, and then I updated that with the Canon XA10. And one of the things I thought, it's bound to have a better viewfinder, the flip-out viewfinder. It's got a bigger one, but this one's still got the best viewfinder. Or even all the other dear one, still not a patch on this old Panasonic. I can see this one in broad daylight, in bright sun. I can always see it. On the Canon, I can't see it without a covered hood that protects the thing on there. But it's amazing how you think you go to something new for the better features, and the main thing you wanted to do is see things. You just can't do it as well. So it's not always. In most of the cases, you think I'll get something new, it'll do it better. But it's like a lot of people say, buy what you have to, what you need, not what you want. Because that's the thing.
To set up to do the new show, I could sit here and do it, if I wanted to. But one thing that I haven't used the booth as much, unless I was doing like one of the poetry things or some type of actual full-blown voiceover, since I've been doing the show out here. And what's funny about that is the camera I'm using is an older 12 megapixel bridge camera that the camera bag fell off one time and it busted the screen on the back of it.
Oh, right.
So the viewfinder still works, but it's actually small, and it, I'm going to see what kind of a picture I'm getting and the light I'm getting and things like that. But so I'm using this old camera that I haven't had much of a use for. Okay. The video monitor is actually an old conventional, like a little 12-inch, I don't know, I think it's 12-inch television with a DVD player in it that we used to take when we went camping. But it had RCAs on the front of it. So I'd ran a line out off of this little camera, and now I actually have a video monitor that's like about right here that I can see the angle to make sure I'm not covering myself up with the microphone or whatever like that. I'm using the Zoom H2N, that I don't use as much because I'm using the H5 out here. I'm using a 4-channel mixer that I have absolutely no other use for. And of course, the NT1A, the Rode NT1A, which I use only when I'm doing, professional voiceover level work. Well, then I'll use that to record. And so I'll be getting the audio recording on the H2N. I'll be getting the separate video with its own audio, like right here in front of me, to put on the YouTube channel. And I'm just using a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't been using otherwise. And so, I'm hoping I can get this to work out, because I just now got it set up just now. What looked pretty good. So I'll just have to do my testing. I'm kind of bad about doing a lot of testing. And so I'll be doing some of that. And then, we'll just see if it works. Just get in there and close the door, talk, about the quote for a few minutes, and that'll be the thing. The video will be on the geoffholbrook.me, and the audio will show up on the same feed that this show shows up on, except instead of coming out on Mondays, this one will probably come out on Thursdays of the same week. So, one a week, just like everything else. And it'll be so much easier than it was when I was scripting and, being all, very formal and stuff.
You're doing a Bill DeWeese then, you see. Have you seen?
Yes, exactly. I know. I had thought of that, because he's just sitting in his booth. He's got that camera on him, and he's, hey, and he's wearing a t-shirt, and, he's looking kind of disheveled a little bit, whatever. I can't say, that if I'm recording one of them, what I'll end up looking like whenever I do that.
But he's got what they call a whisper room. That's
yes. You know what's funny though? His whisper room, I remember hearing him specifically saying that his whisper room was minus 60 dB as far as the noise floor. Yeah. I tested mine, and most of the time I'm getting minus 60, and I've got minus 80 in there before. I mean, mainly because it's in the center of the house on the second floor, surrounded by closets, a big old masonry fireplace, and then the open door, it opens into a room that has sound treatment in it too. So sound penetration from the outside is just not happening. You can hear your heartbeat when you go in there. I mean, it's really quiet. And so, that's just homemade,
I wouldn't mind the whisper room, but it's, the thing is, I would always worry, because you definitely have to have it air conditioned.
Yes.
Because I'll be in there for, if you're in there for any more than an hour, especially here, unless even in the middle of winter, it would still get really warm in there. And once you put air conditioning in, then it makes noise, doesn't it?
Right. And so much for your minus 60 dB. Yeah.
And that's the thought. What's the point then? If you get that, that's fine. Whereas I think where he is as well, he's down in his basement. Mm-hmm. And where's he, in Philadelphia or somewhere? Is it?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I believe it could be Philadelphia. Yeah.
And I think round that sort of way, the country, half of the year, it'd be that cold down there. Mm-hmm. And if you're in your basement, you wouldn't need it air conditioned at all, would you? It'd be so cold down there. You'd be pleased to get in a little bit warmer room.
Well, he's recording into a computer too, as far as I know. What I've seen before, he has his computer. He always shows his setup, and he has his computer, the actual CPU big box, sitting outside of the room.
Yes.
To make sure that it doesn't generate noise on the inside. I've just been completely thrilled with the concept of using digital recorders. I like those a lot better. They're silent and they're specialized, and they do exactly what you ask them to do. And I've never had a syllable dropped out of any audio I've done on any of these digital recorders. I just love them.
No, I think they're the best way to go, because as I said, I've never heard of one just stopping halfway through, but I've heard plenty of computers and had plenty of computers that stop the recording for some reason. If something else, I've had problem with memory, I can't do this. Whereas an audio recorder, that's their only job they've got to do. So there's no possible thing on your computer on the recorder that's going to stop it from doing that. Plus, also as well, I tend to find sometimes electrical devices interfere with some of the noises on through the computer as well, don't they? I have a fridge upstairs in my little booth, and if I'm on the laptop, it picks up the hum from the laptop from the fridge when it comes on. So I have to make sure switch that off before I do any audio recording, and it comes through that. But on an audio on my Tascam, doesn't seem to pick it up.
One of the things I found out that with the setup I've got right here, you do, again, I've explained it before, but I'm taking a feed for your audio and putting it into one channel. I'm doing a direct feed out of here with the XLR and going into another channel. But your audio, I had it at first plugged into the computer and it was coming through and I was getting a out of it. But what I did was change the source to where it's actually your audio is coming out of the back of my microphone. So the hum that the computer generates, this is coming over the USB line into the microphone. And then, so I'm getting a much cleaner signal on your audio coming out of the mic rather than going through all that conglomeration of the computer, because that was just the sound card with 1/8 inch plug-in, kind of an analog type of thing. Well, this audio I'm getting through this comes over the USB line back into the microphone, then into the recorder, and your audio is much cleaner this way than it was coming through the computer CPU itself, because it's just a different type of audio.
And sometimes you've got to watch as well. Some people don't realize that a power cable will go over the USB cable, and that can cause a hum as well, to make sure all the cables are there's no power cables going over the top of it. I've been caught with that before, and you go around the back of your machine and then have a look, and it's usually a power cord over the top of something there.
That's what I'm concerned about back in the booth whenever I start testing everything. If, because now there's a lot of cords going around a lot of places. I had a lot already, but now I've just added a few. So I'm kind of curious if the audio or the video, may end up suffering a little bit from that. We'll see.
I'll have to keep watching JeoffHolbrook.me to see the first closet recording.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm serious. It'll be very similar to what Bill DeWeese is doing. You just jump in there and do it. And it's basically, since it's just a personal channel, whatever, the formal, the formal recording, the audio recording will actually be, set up and done just like a podcast. But the video is just going to be, before I start doing the recording, I can look at the camera and say, hey, this is the behind the scenes. I'm, recording episode 58 of, Daggers of the Mind. And here we go. And then turn around and look at the microphone and just ignore the camera after that and just keep going. But that part, what I said there, won't be in the audio recording for the podcast. But you'll just kind of, and then then you go ahead and go and do it,
Anyway, we've already reached another hour.
Well, that was quick.
Over and done. Yeah, it did go quick as well. So, and I think couldn't remember what time we started, so I think we've gone a few minutes over anyway. So
yeah, well, I think you didn't come in until about 5 till, and then I think it was like 6 for me. It was almost exactly an hour ago, I think, whenever we started.
Yeah. I've got my stream says an hour and 4 minutes. So I know it's just on the hour, and we haven't finished yet. So we haven't shut up yet. Anyway, so
that's true.
It's still, anyway. Thanks for the chat again, and thank you everybody for watching. If there is anybody watching, or watching the YouTube reruns, and we'll be back next week with show number 47 on the 31st of May. Gee, nearly the halfway through the year, isn't it?
Yeah, we're right there now.
Can't believe it. It's just gone so damn quickly. Anyway,
it's going faster for you because you're ahead of me.
That's right. Well, I'm
your day's over. Mine's just starting.
That's right. So at least we're still on the same day, though. It's not like the wrong day. So at least it's still the same. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll catch you next week. And bye to everybody else. See you next week. Bye-bye.
thank you so much for listening. Links for a free subscription, feedback, and everything else we do is at holbrooknewmedia.com. You can find all things Geoff Blanchard at jeffblanchard.com.